Joey is looking for a second date update.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much. You want to tell us what happened with Marsha?
I met Marsha, and I had a really good feeling about her. We actually ended up meeting on Match. Haven't really had luck with the online dating thing, but for whatever reason, things just clicked. And, we talked for a couple weeks, and we decided that we wanted to take the risk and actually meet in person and go out for dinner. So I picked her up, and we actually went to Nada, which was amazing. It was an excellent choice on my part, if I do say so myself.
Love
And
Nada.
we had some fish tacos, some drinks, great conversation, awesome laughs. And, as far as I can remember, there were really no awkward moments or any sort of, weird vibes or anything that happened during dinner that I noticed. But, the end was kind of a little, I don't know, it felt like neither one of us kind of just really knew what to do or where to take it from there. She kind of made it very clear that the date was ending in the car, so no invite in, no nightcap, none of that. So she thanked me in her driveway, and I opened the car door, and she left. So, I just honestly just chalked it up to not being sure how to end the evening. But since nothing else happened, I didn't really think that anything was wrong, So I texted her a couple times, but she's not responding at all. So I don't know. Maybe something did happen at dinner, but
But it sounds like you could sense near the end. I mean, I'm sensing the awkwardness from you now that something wasn't right, and you knew it.
Yeah, it was very stagnant. It's just, it wasn't bad, but it just kind of, that next step spark just wasn't initiating for whatever reason. So we just kind of ended it where it was, and we had a great time. But I don't know what I did to warrant no response back.
Why is this important to you? Like, you could just chalk this up as, all right, she's obviously not that into me, because if she was, she'd be returning my call. Why are you pursuing this?
I don't really have too much luck on, online dating stuff. And obviously with everything going on in the world, this was something that I invested time and energy and effort into, and we did have a connection. We did have a good time. I don't regret, our date and, getting to know each other. And I just want to know kind of what happened and if we can salvage anything back. I enjoy her time and her company, and I want to continue things if she'll have me.
The awkward moment for me on a date at Nada would be the fact that I just simply inhale those fish tacos. Can't even speak, let alone breathe.
I was just talking about that the other day. I feel like I could have to order 12 or something because they're just so delicious.
I'd just be nodding my head and listening without speaking. Let someone else do all the talking while I stuff my face here. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to attempt to call Marsha and see what we can get out of her as we continue with Second Date Update. Next, Jeff and Jenn, Cincinnati's Q102. Yeah, and Joey is not normally one for online dating, but when he met Marsha on Match, there was something different about her. He couldn't quite put his finger on, so he reached out, made plans to go to dinner, went to Nada, got some fish tacos, seemed to have a lovely time, lots in common, lovely date. Takes her home, though, and I don't know, they all kind of fizzled out. There was no hug, there was no kiss, there was no promise of a future date or anything like that, huh, Joey?
Yeah, everything just kind of
fell flat.
Fell apart. Yeah.
Did you just say fart?
Fell apart.
Oh, fell apart.
I was going to say, you didn't do that, did you?
I was like, why would he say it fell fart?
I don't know. All I heard was art. I'm like, what? Yeah, so we're going to call Marsha and see if we can get some insight from her as to what she's got going on, what she thought of Joey and her date at Nada with him. Unless there's anything else you need to add, Joey, before we make the call. You ready?
I'm ready, guys.
Hello.
Hello, is this Marsha?
Yeah. Who's this?
Marsha, it's Jeff and Jenn at Q102.
Hi, Marsha.
Jeff and Jen on Q102.
Yes, and Fritch and Tim, the whole gang.
Hi.
We got you on speakerphone. How you doing this morning? Did you think this was a prank?
Oh, no. I know what this is.
We understand you're on Match. You've been doing a little dating.
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys for years.
Well, thank you for listening for years.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I'm going to assume this is about Joey, correct?
Have you been dating other people besides Joey?
No, he's the only one that I've gone on a date with since this whole craziness began.
Gotcha. Well, he liked you. He thought you were pretty cool. He did sense there was some awkwardness there at the end, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. You want to shed some light on what you thought of Joey and your date with him?
Yeah, I'll paint this picture for you. So he picks me up, and within 2 minutes, he asks me if I have any cash on me.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So then he asked which bank I use and drove me to a PNC and asked me to take money out of the ATM.
What? Were you being robbed?
I would have felt like it.
No,
So I'm thinking you were going to Nada, so maybe he forgot to get cash for the
parking.
the valet parking.
Oh,
so
what did he say what the purpose of the ATM run was for? I assume you didn't have any cash, which is why you had to go to the ATM, no?
No, I didn't have it. Well, I mean, I had a couple bucks, but I just didn't know what to say, so I did it. I just figured we might need cash for something, but already this was really weird. I mean, am I right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Totally, but I
$100
would have
too.
been like, wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, why do we need to go to my ATM machine?
Yeah.
If we're making a special trip, we can go to yours.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, you asked me out.
Well, maybe he wants to
And-
go in halvesies, though. That's a very thing. Like, not everybody is making full salary. Maybe he wanted to go in halves on the meal.
And honestly, I've had weirder. Anyone that's dated online, I'm sure, has had weirder. So I just went with it. And I want to be fair. We actually had a nice dinner. He was great to talk to, an intelligent guy. I mean, super funny. And then the bill came, and he gave him his credit card, which kind of surprised me because I thought maybe he was going to have to, have me pay, and that's why he had me get cash. So when the server comes back with the card for him to sign, he signs it. And then he gives me the receipt and asks me to give him my half in cash. So, there you have it. And I don't mind paying, but tell me that up front and then give me some say-so in, where we're going. I mean, how did he know that Nada would even be within my budget?
Yeah, but this
true
is
enough.
weird.
That's very
though.
presumptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just trying to collect fuel points on his credit card.
But
We
why-
do know people that do like to pay for everyone just to get either fuel points or,
And then never
miles.
spend those points
We know
on
people
us.
that like to collect miles.
Why y'all looking at me?
But I don't understand, why couldn't she just use her card at the restaurant? You can split it.
Yeah.
You
well,
can
I
get
can
4
tell you why I
cards.
would do that if it were me.
Okay.
It would be I need cash, and instead of pulling cash off of my credit card and having to pay the
Oh, the
additional
fee.
fee
Cash
for
advance.
cash.
Okay, well, we should allow Joey to
Yeah,
respond here because he is on the other line. Joey,
I mean, that's exactly what happened. You know what I mean? I just don't understand what the big deal about the whole situation is. I mean, if she had cash, that would be the easiest way to handle everything here. And, I knew she'd have money on her, so we wouldn't have to have any sort of awkward thing with the server or whatever else for splitting things and stuff like that. It's easier,
I don't see how that's easier than just saying, hey, you cool if we split it and dropping 2 credit cards down?
Well, maybe he was making sure. Were you making sure up front when you stopped that she would have the money
Doing a
before
credit
you
check?
went and
Yeah,
ran up a bill?
Yeah, because sometimes people don't bring their credit cards with them, especially if it was a date or whatever else. Maybe she was going to be presumptive about everything, so I just wanted to make sure the situation was good and clear.
I'm getting some interesting facial reactions from Fritch over here as you're explaining this.
I don't know. I'm judging because I feel okay.
I understand everything you've said as far as your thought process. What I don't understand is I'm not going to tell you anything up front, but we're just going to do a drive-by at your bank. That's
insane.
screwy. Like,
That
wait.
is weird.
Am I being robbed?
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I would have felt like beginning too. When you brought that up earlier, I'm like, the first thing in the car, you drove me to the ATM.
Yeah.
Why? How do you even know I have a bank account?
Yeah, why not just have a conversation of, hey, we're going to split it. You good? We need to stop. We don't need to stop.
And since the
Moving
ATM is
forward.
on the driver's side, you want to just go ahead and give me that password?
Yeah. What's your pen number?
Okay, so no chance of a second date here. I don't want to speak for you, Marsha, but after you've heard Joey's explanation, would you consider going out again? This time we'll pay for it, and then nobody has to go to the ATM machine.
No, poorly handled, tacky. I mean, the only thing I would say is next time, just let your date know what you expect, but it's not going to be with me.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry,
Oh, well.
Joey.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry too. I didn't want to kill the vibe right off the bat by, just saying, hey, we're going Dutch. But, I guess it didn't work for you. So, I guess that it's not going to happen.
So when you want to have dinner with someone, but you don't want to pay for the whole thing, and you do want to go Dutch, is there a way how do you do that invite? Do you say, would you like to share dinner?
I think
'Cause
you
if I say,
I don't know. I feel like you have to be kind of upfront about it, but it also feels to me like the date, like if we're going to go out on a date, it is
Molly,
kind
come
of
here.
your responsibility. Weird.
Molly would probably be the best one to ask.
Molly's
this
single,
question
grab
to.
a mic. If a guy's inviting you to dinner, but he wants to split it, he wants to go Dutch, how does he approach that invite? Like, is there a smooth way to make that clear from the outset so that it's not awkward when the bill comes?
Is there a way for a man to say that to you and it be okay?
I'm totally like.
She's like,
I'm
no.
at a
Like,
loss
no.
for words. I'm
She
like, no,
doesn't
I
want to sound
really-
like a bad person, but say no.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm
no,
really
it's not okay.
I feel like I'm super old school. I like when they pick me up and they open the car door and they take me to dinner, and then it's, I just think that's.
What if he
So
just
no matter
says
what,
on
it's
every date
tacky and
just so you
inappropriate.
know, every date we go on,
I think-
I split the check.
Yep. I
And it's
think
that easy.
when he asks her out on the very first date, whether they're chatting on Match or it's a text message or
He
it's a
sets the
phone call,
precedent.
he's got to say it up front. Hey, it's
Yeah.
our first date, so let's just take it really casual. We'll split it. We don't have to worry about any weirdness, but I would love to get to know you more.
Yeah, but also since we're splitting it, I'll let you pick where we want to go.
For
Sure.
sure.
Yeah,
Because that
absolutely.
way, if she only can afford coffee, it's coffee. And
Yeah.
if she can afford, Jeff Ruby, then let's go.
I don't know. Maybe I'm super old school. I'm totally fine with, because I know I've been on dates before where I've been like, no, let's split it, because honestly, I wasn't that.
Because I had a
into
horrible
him.
time,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't
wasn't that
want-
into him, and I didn't want to
Lead you
be
on.
like, hey, like that's
I'm
usually.
going to ghost you, so
Yeah, let
I don't
me
want
at least pay
to
for
have
half
any
of
guilt.
it. But I really feel like if a man asks
Yep.
you out on a date and takes you out, if before even anything's even happened, if he's like, well, let's we're gonna split, then to me it's like, okay, this is super casual. This feels like a friend thing. This is not even. I just
For
think
Amanda
it's-
to show you that he's interested, he needs to pay the bill.
I just think that's the nice thing to do. I
Yeah.
think it's
Same.
chivalrous.
I get it. I get
Yeah,
it.
I'm a little old school, I guess.
Well, if you had a different answer, I was going to try to set you up with Joey, but never mind.
Molly's
Sorry,
dating
Joey.
someone.
Yeah, I'm seeing somebody. So.
Well, Marsha, we appreciate you taking the call, and Joey, thank you for putting yourself out there and coming on Second Date Update.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
good luck,
guys.
Joey.
Thanks.
All right. If you need our help with the second date update, just send us an email. Jeff and Jen at WK.